having a really simple last name for a guy in office. We're going to continue sort of a theme that we've been working on, and it's fairly simple, and yet the solutions are really complex. First is trying to get a reality on what's going on with the math. And if I'm a broken record, I absolutely am, but we're going to walk through this again, and I really appreciate from doing this a week ago, we did actually a whole bunch of sort of technology disruptions that would crash the price of healthcare, that would clean the environment, that would make bureaucracy much smaller, make us much more productive and wealthy as a society, help the poor, help the working middle class. And it's fascinating. Sometimes you go and we all make the mistake of reading the responses, trying to understand, saying, are we getting the message through? And the number of our brothers and sisters out there that are kind enough to comment, kind enough to help us, but also kind enough to say, hey, I didn't understand this. I don't understand what this number really means. So we're going to delve into a couple of those because the crisis is here. And it's not Democrat or Republican. I'm going to argue it's much more difficult. It's demographics. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of mess that I believe our Republican majority next year is going to have to clean up. And God willing, we will have the fortitude to do it. But the fact of the matter is, over the next 30 years, there's some really ugly numbers, and it has to do with the fact we got old as a society. Our baby boomers are retiring, and almost no one's comfortable telling the truth. So we're going to rapidly go through a number of these. And look, this is a board I show over and over just to try to help people get their head around it. See this red here? We're not going to even talk about 1965. We're going to go back and just stick with 2022. So functionally, the last year's budget cycle. Remember, we're running on continuing resolutions, so there's all sorts of other budgetary malfeasance going on around here. But here's where we're at. You see this red here? That's for last year's budget cycle. 71% of all the spending, and it's on autopilot. Because this is, hey, I turned 65. I get a health benefit. I work so many quarters and I turn 65 or 70, wherever you choose, you get Medicare or Social Security, or you served in the military. Got to understand, the vast majority of your government is on autopilot. This blue here, that's defense. 13% of the 22 budget was defense. The other 16% was what we call non-defense discretionary. That's the EPA, that's the FBI, that's the Park Service, that's everything you actually think of as government is functionally only 16% of the spending.